Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower of Saviors GNN review video. Sorry this video is coming a little bit late. I had some busy weekend. But without further ado, let's get to the new GNN news that were released this week. So we have from the banner, we have Pertinacious Belief, we have two new characters, which are going to probably be two of the new Mad Hit Original Jackpot cards. Frederick and Hugo. From the artwork, probably light and dark characters. Beast maybe from the artwork, a unicorn of sorts. Also new guild mission, Flickering Light of the Autumn Parade, and a new Corrupted Seal Lord, Disparity of Order Giemsa. Which Corrupted Seal Lord's one of the hardest stages, or one of the hardest type of stages. So let's see if Giemsa is going to be worth getting or not. So let's get started with Pertinacious Belief series, Frederick and Hugo, Heir of Excalibur, so interesting, and Gilding Gate Hugo. Um, yeah, from the name itself, Heir of Excalibur makes me think of Arthur from the Round Table series, so I'm going to guess it might be a light human card. And for Hugo, I do think it's going to be a Dark Beast, so let's take a look if I'm right. From September 5th, Monday, new characters will be coming out. Frederick will be the guaranteed one, and Hugo will be the lower jackpot. But yeah, we have a leader skill, or actually this is lore, so okay, leader skill. There we go. Light human, perfect. Continuation of the Arthurian glory. Light members and humans have a ×8 attack bonus, a 1.2 HP and recovery bonus, and light humans get HP attack and recovery bonuses of 1.8 times additionally. By dissolving light runes, team attack ×4. By dissolving character runes or race runes, combo count increases by 2. Well, that's interesting. So I think we are going back to the Madhead meta of running light humans. There was a period in time, about 3-4 years ago, where every light human that came out was a specific leader just for a light human meta. So we had Arthur, we have Kurapika, we have basically just light humans, and you always have like a bunch of light human support. So it looks like they're trying to bring that back um, without limiting you too much, because you are still able to run light members and you're still able to run human members, but the focus will be light humans because of the extra stat boost that you get from the leader skill. But the fact that you can slot in any light member without breaking your leader skill is going to be really good, because cards in the past, if you didn't run a light human, it would break the leader skill and your damage would be really, really bad. So glad to see that the leader skill is more flexible. Dissolving light runes, team attack ×4, so that's nice, really easy condition to hit. And combo count +2, although it's not much, is still going to be pretty nice. Especially if you run dual leader and ally, that's going to be +4, and that can get you to 10 combo if you have an initial dissolve of 6 combo. And that's like pretty good, especially for higher combo enemies. And if you played the most recent ultimate stage, the Gangland, Prime Lord of Gangland ultimate stage, you notice how Madhead just added a bunch of enemies that require high combo shields, and the best way to counter them is to bring a character that can generate their own combos through a passive skill, rather than relying on active skills, because you continuously need that high combo. So even though +2 is not that much, it is still going to be pretty nice to have. Now let's take a look at the team skill, because the leader skill itself is pretty simple in my opinion. Just a bunch of stat boosts and a combo count increase. So now let's take a look at the team skill to see if there's any gimmicks or any like cool playstyles for him. So condition leader is Frederick, so no need of running dual leader and ally, which means you could potentially bring like Xiangyu or like another super overpowered human leader to help you out on the ally slot. Extend runes of movement time by 4 seconds. All runes that possess the effect of light runes. Okay. Runes of movement will not be stopped when electrified runes is touched. Sticky and burning are nullified. Light Rune effect increases by 250%. Different effects will be granted when Frederick is in either form, Rapier, Excalibur. So if he's on Rapier, damage received minus 40%. Damage will be dealt regardless of Trio and Quintet Elemental Shield. Column below Leader will be turned into Light Runes, and skill cooldown of Frederick will be reduced by 1. And that's for every Frederick. So all Fredericks in your team will get a -1 cooldown reduction. If you're running dual leader and ally, that will also give you a -1 to them. Excalibur form. Turn Runestone's touch while moving into enchanted runes. Damage will be dealt regardless of fixed combo shield. And at the end of each round, turn the bottom row into light human runestones. Okay, so here, Hero of Excalibur will acquire 2 forms, Rapier and Excalibur. When you're in Rapier form, attack and recovery increases by 1.2, and when you're in Excalibur, attack increases by 1.5 for Frederick. So, honestly, this team skill is pretty simple. It has a lot of shield breaks and enemy skill countering. So you're countering Electrify runes, you're countering Sticky, you're countering Burning, and you're also able to counter Trio and Quintet if you're in Rapier, and you're also able to counter Fixed Combo Shield if you're on Excalibur. Fixed Combo Shield is going to be pretty useful. Quintet Elemental Shield is also really useful as well. So being able to break these 2 shields is going to be really nice for him. I don't see the way for him to switch forms. It might be in his active skill, but depending on how easy it is to switch his forms, it is going to be a really good ability because you are able to generate or counter specific shields at will. Doesn't really matter because overall you're still generating a bunch of light runes. In Rapier form, you're generating a column of light runes, and in Excalibur form, you're generating the bottom row of light runes. And that's still pretty good because that's going to be most of your damage coming out of, because light runes, their effect is increased by 2.5 times. But you also don't have to worry about attacking runes because you also have Runestone Possession effect for light runes. That being said, because everything revolves around light runes, you don't really want to bring any member that is not light runes. You are allowed to bring human members, but your main damage will still be light members, which means that this is a leader suited better for a monolight team. That being said, you can still bring some like utility human cards, like I don't know, human Yoko, just to boost your leader and ally. Don't know why you would do that, but you could. You could do that, or bring other cards that can help you with that. But on the flip side, Light Attribute also has a lot of support, and even with other races, there's a lot of utility, and a lot of collaboration cards are also Light Humans, which also gives you a very good pool for team building for Frederick team. But yeah, overall, I do think he is a good leader. There's not much of a gimmick or a playstyle for him. It's just a very normal gameplay. So yeah, honestly, multipliers are there. You have a ×8, which is pretty standard. Now in the meta, you have an additional 1.8 ×4 for light runes, which is good because you are generating light runes every round. So this ×4 is going to be basically triggered every round, unless you have a light block. And you also have like very slight attack boost from his specific forms. But because of that, I do think his gameplay is very simple, very fundamental. There's not much new to him. So if you are lacking a light leader, because we are, or a light human leader, because we just recently got out of a collaboration with a pretty good light leader like Magna Angemon. So if you have Magna Angemon, I don't think Frederick is that much useful in your team. You can safely skip him. As a leader, we still want to take a look at his active skill, and yeah, but as a leader, his team skill is pretty basic. It has a lot of utility built into him, into his passives, but he is still a pretty fundamental character. So it's a pretty standard leader, in my opinion. But yeah, now let's take a look at his active skill. That is going to be a CD6. Oh, okay. So he is going to be like Lilith, where he is able to switch forms just by activating his active skill. And if you're running more than one Frederick, that gives you the ability of switching more often than just one card. Just say you could activate Rapier this round, and then on the next round you activate your other Frederick and select Excalibur. So that's going to give you pretty good um, ability to change between Rapier and Excalibur, which is pretty good in my opinion. If you switch to Rapier, you explode the columns below Frederick to generate light runes. For one round, Frederick attack times 4 and damage will be dealt regardless of initial shield and defense. And if you choose Excalibur, you explode the bottom row to generate light human runes. The character's attack increases by 8 times and combo count increases by 8. So Rapier is going to be a... Actually, they're both pretty good effects. Or not good effects, they're pretty much the same. The only thing that changes is going to be the bonuses. But there are both Frederick boosting effects. So it's not a team booster, it's more of a Frederick booster for both effects. It doesn't really matter which one you choose, since they're both only going to affect the character itself. Actually, for Rapier, I think all Fredericks will benefit because it says Frederick attack times 4 rather than the character's attack times 4. So, if you choose Rapier, all your Fredericks will launch times 4 attacks. But in my opinion, running duplicates of cards nowadays is not that viable because of enemy skills and utilities that you need to bring to counter those enemy skills. Running dual cards is not that useful unless they are able to break multiple shields, but you require multiple turns to activate those cards. So running more than leader and ally, definitely less appealing. But for Excalibur, that is going to be a big damage, good burst option. You explode, you generate human light runes, which he doesn't really generate his own human light runes. You can, let's see, yeah, you only generate light runes um, in Excalibur form. In Rapier form, you don't generate human runes. Um, but that is going to give you a little bit more of a damage boost because raise runes do give you more damage output. Then you also get a times 8 self-attack boost, which is pretty insane, pretty nice, and a combo count increase of +8, unconditional, so this is going to help you break those high combo shields. In terms of... Now, you also have bonding skills, if you dissolve... Yeah, actually, these are pretty good bonding skills, honestly. So a combo count +2 if you dissolve Frederick's character rune, and a... Okay, so they're both conflicting each other. Character rune in the first batch, you get a combo count +2. Character rune is not dissolved in the first batch, skill goes down by 1. They're still pretty good, honestly. One of them can help you stall, the other one can help you just edge out that little bit of damage. So I do recommend getting his bonding skills, but do I recommend getting him as a whole though? That's a whole different question, because as a jackpot card, as a 1% jackpot card, I don't see too much future proofing on him. His leader skill is pretty good, it has the damage output, but as I've said before on my channel before, damage output will always get outplayed by different cards. Madhead is going to keep releasing more powerful cards and more powerful cards, so your damage multiplier doesn't really matter at the end of the day because there is going to be a better card out there. And this card, you know, is going to be a 1% jackpot card, so you still need to spend at most 20 pulls to get him, so that's about 100 diamonds, which you could be saving for a more powerful team or collaboration or Blackwell card. And honestly, I find it really hard to recommend any of these method originals, only because the new way of the draw seal works. Because all the non-jackpot cards have been the same for the past couple months. And so if you did decide to pull for one jackpot card, you are going to inevitably get a lot of non-jackpot cards. Which means that when a new card like this comes out, you're only needing like 2 cards out of the entire pool of non-jackpot cards that you might already have all of them. And in terms of efficiency or diamond efficiency, diamond worth, I think it's better to spend those diamonds in a collaboration where every single diamond or every card might be new for you, rather than trying to get 1 or 2 cards from a pool that's already been existing. So I do find it a little bit hard to recommend these meta originals. And specifically for Frederick, his leader skill is just pure damage multipliers. His playstyle is very simple. And his active skill, although it's nice, CD6 is pretty fast, he only boosts himself. So you are technically better off running another member in other teams that can boost your entire team or help your entire team as opposed to just one card as a whole. So in my opinion, he might be a little bit he might be good for you, but if you are a new player, don't have that many diamonds, or if you need to save your resources, I would say this card might be better off skipping because you can get better ones in collaborations or black gold cards. But yeah, let's keep going to Gliding Gate Hugo. This is going to be a Dark Beast. Guessed it, yes. I mean, not that hard to guess. He could have either been a beast or a dragon, honestly. But anyways, Dark Beast, leader skill, human and beast attack times 6, beast HP times 2 by dissolving light or dark runes, team attack times 6 additionally, and by dissolving a character rune, recover 50% HP. No, not bad. Times 6 base attack is pretty low for the current meta, but you do have an additional team attack times 6 if you dissolve light or dark runes, which kinda makes up for it. Because if you think about it, if you for example, if we go back to Frederick, right? That's a times 8 and a times 4. That's going to be a 32 times multiplier. Additionally, get 1.8, so that's about like 60 multiplier, and then get that at a base from his leader skill. So that's 60, and then Gliding Gate, that's going to be 36. So you know, comparing those two is a little bit low. So as the baseline, his damage is not going to be that great as a whole, especially for higher levels, endgame content, nightmare stages, corrupt stages, things like that. But let's take a look at his team skill because there might be more damage output there that can make it a better leader. And if he's not a good leader, he might have a broken active skill, maybe. Hopefully, let's see. My Gliding Gate Hugo team skill, the leader is Gliding Gate Hugo. Extend runestone movement time by 3 seconds. Skill cooldowns of leader and ally -6. Well, I just looked at his active skill, his CD6, so he does give himself the active skill ready from the start of the battle. For every enemy defeated, skill CD of Hugo decreases by 1. Water, fire, earth runes possess the effect of light and dark. When there is an additional effect in play, team attack times 3. Damage will be dealt regardless of trio and quintet elemental shield. At the beginning of the round, modify the top and bottom runestones in the column below light and dark beast to become beast runes. Okay, so based on the description of his leader skills, you do want to run him in a light dark team because of the heavy emphasis on light and dark runes. Your runes of possession effect is also to have water, fire, and earth possess the effect of light and dark runes. So your attacking runes are going to be light and dark, and your effects are also going to be light and dark. The only thing, honestly, as a leader, he is going to be very underwhelming, to say the least, because his attack is pretty low. HP is nice, so you are going to be tanking a lot of things, and recovering 50% HP if you resolve a character rune. But Beast HP is not as tanky as Dragon HP, so even though you are going to end up with a very beefy team, it's not going to be as beefy as a Dragon team. And also, there is something in the game called 100% HP reduction. There's also a crescendo. There's also, yeah, basically enemies can just one-shot you no matter what. So stall and grind teams are not super viable. So even if you have a very big HP pool, enemies can still kill you very easily because their attack keeps increasing, or they have like 100% HP reduction that's just going to totally decimate you. You also don't have a lot of recovery, so even if you encounter like a 60% HP reduction enemy, that's death in 3 rounds because you can recover HP. But that is still eventual death because you don't have any additional recovery on your kit. And not being able to fully recover HP is going to be a problem. Only recovering 50% HP can pretty much bring you to death in certain scenarios, in my opinion. Overall, his leader skill and team skill are a little bit underwhelming. You are going to need an additional effect in play to get a ×3 attack bonus, but with the advent of like neutralized resets or things like that, that's also not very useful. You can create an additional effect by pulling character runes. The fatigue state does count as an additional effect, but yeah, you know, it becomes a little bit tedious at that point. And the benefit you get from that is only a ×3 attack bonus, which doesn't really save Hugo in terms of damage output as a leader. This one right here though is a little bit nice because the condition triggers whether he is the leader or not. So he might be a good member to generate beast runes for beast teams that don't generate their own beast runes. And that's pretty useful because sometimes there's a lot of leader skills that rely on beast runes, team skills that rely on beast runes, and having a consistent way of generating beast runes is going to be pretty useful. Now the question is Hugo worth putting in a beast team? Well, that is a question for his active skill, right? So let's take a look at his active skill. CD6. Oh, okay, that is a very big paragraph. So, team attack times 1.5. Each beast launches an extra attack as much as 50% of its own attack. At the end of each round, explode the bottom row to generate dark beast runes. Permanent effect with deactivation at will, so that's pretty good. Can be deactivated at any time upon deactivation for 2 rounds. Ooh, time tunnel. Runes of movement will not be stopped for electrified runes or laser trap, and attack of gliding gate Hugo ×3. Okay, whatever. So honestly, this active skill is really good. It's a buffer. He is going to be basically Anubis, but for beasts. So, or OG Anubis. OG Anubis boosts god damage by 1 or team attack by 1.5. So that gives your entire team like a slight boost, and it is a permanent effect, so it's very good to run. With this skill, you can potentially run him as a leader because 1, he does generate extra attacks and extra damage, as well as give you that additional effect in play for his team skill, but I do still think that his damage output is pretty low and not really worth running as a leader. That being said, this card is really good for beast teams because you get a permanent buffer for your beast team. So if you run him on a Caesar team, it says Caesar right here. Running him on a Caesar team is actually really beneficial because of the additional effect for attack boosting, additional attacks, and also the time tunnel when you deactivate the skill. For Caesar, his playstyle is very simple, very fundamental. So having a time tunnel for 2 rounds is going to be pretty beneficial for him. Also ignoring electrified and laser traps, also pretty good. And the attack boost for Hugo, I mean, nice, but his main utility is going to be the continuous 1.5 buff, extra attack buff, as well as the time tunnel upon deactivating the skill. And honestly, CD6 for this type of skill is really good because usually permanent effects or permanent buffers are technically usually CD8. So having one that's CD6 is really nice, and you can even bring it down with Dragonware. Yes, this skill will be ready for Hugo upon entering the stage if you run him as a leader, but again, I don't think that all these additions really save him as a leader. But his active skill is going to be a really good utility for him. That being said, again, same reasoning as before with Frederick. If you already have all the non-jackpot cards from this current seal, this one is arguably more dangerous to go for because at least Frederick has a guarantee at 20 pulls. You might not get Hugo at all if you're really unlucky. So I don't think it's worth going for him because you can save those diamonds to get something better. Yes, this is a nice booster for beast teams, but that's it. It's a really good booster for beast teams. If you don't have beast leaders, then there's no reason to go for this. If we have beast leaders and you have extra diamonds, just go for Caesar. Because Caesar is still up on the... Actually, is Caesar still up? I don't think Caesar is still up. But yeah, if you have Caesar, great. If you don't, I mean, this card is good for beast leaders. But honestly, like in the future maybe. But right now, there aren't that many beast leaders. There's like Metalgar Rudamon, Caesar. That's it, ish. Yeah. And so this card will be good for the next big beast leader, or once Caesar and Metalgar Rudamon start falling off the meta, you want to bring him to increase your damage output. But at the point where in the future there might be better cards, better supports, better active skills that can replace Hugo in the future. So I don't really recommend going for him either, especially because of the diamond efficiency argument, where if you already have all the non-jackpot cards, going for this one will net you a lot of useless cards that you already have and are not that powerful, because the current non-jackpot cards, they're actually kind of bad. They're actually kind of bad. So, you know, yeah. But yeah, bonding skills, same thing, but you know, it's okay. Cool. Next, we have the guild mission, which is going to be the Mid-Autumn Festival event. So, pretty standard guild mission. Get points, get characters. So, our main concern is going to be looking at the new character, which is going to be Prancing Lanterns Akina, which is a dark human with a CD6. Really nice artwork. This reminds me of like the Trojan horse, but it's like a Trojan bunny, maybe. With the lanterns. Ooh, bunny lanterns. Nice. Anyways, but yeah. Clear the negative effect of black and white zone. Turn light and dark into enchanted runes for 3 rounds. After dissolving runes, the first batch of runestones to be dropped will be light and dark runes. Honestly, I was about to say that this effect is not that great with the first two, but the third effect is actually not bad. Being able to generate a fixed sky drop is very useful. CD6 is pretty fast as well. But I think the main usage for this skill is going to be with enemy shields that require a lot of light and darkness. So again, going back to our example in the previous ultimate stage, you needed to dissolve 30 earth runes, and for certain teams, generating earth runes is not that easy. So for here, there aren't that many. If you don't have a team that can easily generate light or dark runes, you can just pop this effect. All your initial batch sky drop is going to be light and dark. You're going to get all those runes ready for you and break those enemy shields. So honestly, not a bad card. You do get a dual or a skill level max if your guild reaches max points. So honestly, definitely a good card to get. So make sure you go on the guild event and help out to guarantee you getting this card at skill level max. It's not broken, but it's definitely nice to have in your inventory for sure. Yeah. Points, same thing. Yeah, 200 scores. And then Calamitous stage, Giemsa. Oh, I hate Calamitous stages, honestly. Okay, let's see. Various restrictions, new thing. Core of Doom, Power release, Giemsa into, okay, there we go. Leader skill. When the team has only gods and demons, team attack increases by 15, HP and recovery 1.5. Water, fire, earth possesses 50% effect of each other, dissolving water, fire, earth in the same round, team attack times 2 additional. Now, honestly, from the get go, team attack times 15 is absolutely insane. And really nice, especially if you have a times 2 tagged onto it as well. Before I go to the team skills section, I think this card could be good as an ally. Because if you run a leader that doesn't require dual leader and ally, you can benefit from all their team skills. And you benefit from this insane multiplier, which is honestly not a bad deal. But yeah, because, for example, if you don't require dual leader and ally, all your team skills are already triggered, so all your ally does is give you extra multipliers or extra utility that's stated on only their team skill. And most cards, they say team attack times 8, times 1.2, plus times 1.2, plus runestone position effect. Very rarely do they have like their full multiplier on the leader skill, and having a times 15 is actually pretty useful to run as an ally when you're done. Yeah, if you don't have to run dual leader and ally. So, pretty good card, but as an ally, so just rely on your friend list. For the team skill, we have Nucleus. Yeah, so the team skill is not that great, so of course, don't run Giemsa as a leader because her team skill basically non-existent, and you are only dealing with this these stats. That being said, as an ally, this is great, but as a leader, she is going to be very, 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 very bad. But yeah, Nucleus, same thing, normal Nucleus stuff. Active skill, Ancient Antecedent Order, CD8. Turn all runestones into water, earth, and fire of fixed numbers and fixed positions. For one round, gods and demons launch an extra attack for each of the attributes of not your members, and damage will be dealt off regardless of puzzle. Now, honestly, this active skill is pretty good because fixed converts are pretty good. If you don't need to break equal combo shields or things like that, because it makes it easier to spin, it makes it easier to make combos, it's more predictable, it can counter certain board hazards like sticky, burn, things like that, because it is fixed, so you don't really have to move as much. And even then, you can also launch extra attacks with Giemsa. And this is very helpful for those stages that require you to hit the enemy with 5 different attributes before you can deal damage. And this is for each god and demon, you are launching extra attacks. So that is going to be really good because you're launching like a lot of damage. Say if you're running a mono water team, each member will launch 4 extra attacks: Earth, Fire, Light, and Dark. That's also very nice. And then damage will be built regardless of Puzzle Shield. And honestly, Puzzle Shield is pretty annoying sometimes, especially when they have Enchanted Bounded, Raised Bounded, um, Puzzle Shield with Anti-Runestone Shield. So things like that. Being able to ignore Puzzle Shield is just so nice. So definitely worth having this skill. Honestly, Giemsa's first active skill is already pretty good. Or his second active skill, CD6, even quicker. Nice. Nice. Gods enter a hyperstate for 2 rounds. Combo count increases by 10 times. By triggering a god character rune, Okay, so basically by triggering a character runestone of a god or a demon, you convert them into enchanted race runes of that race while moving. And honestly, this is just going to be a damage boosting active skill because you are entering a hyper state. You're increasing your combo count, which increases your damage, and you're also generating race runes, enchanted race runes, which also increases your damage. But there's also some hidden utility here. Because you enter hyperstate for 2 rounds, that means it will cross rounds if you kill the enemy. And this is good because if the next enemy has a 5-round fatigue, meaning like it lowers like all your cards into fatigue state, because you already have the hyper state, the fatigue state does not trigger and you don't have to wait those 5 rounds. So I have started to really like hyper states because it helps you ignore those fatigue states, and that's honestly really useful. And if you had that at CD6, albeit only for gods, but CD6 is pretty nice for that. Plus 10 combo count, very nice to just deal with high combo counts. That's a very nice addition. And the third and fourth one can help you get rid of weakened runes as well as muck runes, like Lock for Recovery, and mask runes as well. So being able to just do that, it also counters max trail, so that is also a very big plus. But yeah, so Giemsa, pretty nice. Then we have the Corrupted Dragonware, only for gods. Ooh, skill cooldown -2 after entering the stage. And character damage will be dealt regardless of boss skill. So honestly, this is going to be a very nice craft. I personally do not have any corrupted crafts, and I just think they're such a pain to get. But I might just try to go for this one because it is pretty good. -2 for gods. That is going to help you activate your skills faster. And I am a very big fan of cooldown reduction crafts. I usually use the god bell in every single god that I can. But having this one will get you a -2, which honestly is gonna make it even better. Thing is, like, the thing for these is that you're spending 3 Core of Dooms for 1 craft because you need to use one of the corrupted Seal Lords as material, and that's pretty bad. But yeah. So then craft skill. Oh, snipe. That doesn't really matter. Yeah. Anyways. But yeah. So that's a lot. I've been talking for a while now. But yeah. So overall, Jackpot cards. They're nice. They're nice, but I don't recommend them because their effects are kind of more on the weak side. Yeah, Hugo might be good as a member with his permanent buff and stuff, but again, if you want to use your diamonds and get the most value out of them, maybe save for a collaboration, because the non-jackpot cards in this current seal are kind of bad, and you don't want to end up with like 10 non-jackpot cards that are not useful and spend 50 of your diamonds and not get anything good just for a chance of getting a buffing skill that can potentially be replaced by other members or get even power crept in the future as well. In terms of Frederick, you do have a lot of damage output, but that's all he really has, just damage output. Gameplay style, nothing too interesting. And again, with power creep, he is going to fall out of the meta very soon. We already have a good light leader recently, so Magna Angemon. And I don't know, as a member, he only buffs himself. So given how much support light members already have, you might not want to run this and might want to run something else instead. But he is still a pretty good jackpot card. But again, do you want to spend 100 diamonds to try and get him, or save those 100 diamonds for a collaboration seal, where every member will be new and potentially buff your entire team or be very useful for you as well. But yeah, so that's all for this GNN review video. Not that many news today, but pretty good news about new Corrupted Seal, Corrupted Demon Lord, Ultimate Lord, sorry, Guild Event, and 2 new Jackpot cards. But yeah, that's all from me. Make sure you stay tuned on my Tower Saviors channel, YouTube channel, for more Tower Saviors content. I do regularly post clear videos there, card reviews, as well as miscellaneous clears here and there. But yeah, so yeah, check it out. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want to see. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone!